In today's show, we're going to look at PowerApps Auditing. We're just going to look at a quick and dirty solution that I use when I need to keep track of who edited the data item last and when they did so, right? So we're going to look at the functions I use with that, how we add those to forms without the user having any interaction with it, and just a couple little tricks along the way. But first, here's our intro. Hi, my name is Shane Young with PowerApps 911. Those guys. In today's show, we're going to look at a quick and dirty solution around auditing inside of PowerApps. So it turns out that a lot of people want to be able to track when an item was modified and who modified it. And so with, if you have like SharePoint as a data source, well, that's just built into SharePoint, it's no problem. But what about if you're still, doing the Excel thing, or Excel is your data source, you're using SQL or any of those other better solutions? You need to be able to track that information without prompting the user to enter their information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just kind of how I do that. We're going to incorporate it in, and we're going to do it from an Excel point of view, but everything that we're going to do would translate, and I do exactly the same thing when I use SQL as a data source. Sound like fun? Cool, well, let's just hop right in. Okay, so over here on my desktop, let's take a look at my really complicated Excel first. All right, I got two columns, product name and color, and I added two columns called edited by and edited when. I made it into a table. Remember that your data has to be in a table, and I named my table products because you should always name it instead of trying to remember what's in table one. So that's all I did. I took this Excel, I saved it to my OneDrive, right? So if we go over here in my OneDrive, we have my products workbook, right? The same data, okay? So now let's just jump over to PowerApps. And because this demo is about the auditing functionality instead of Excel and all that, right? There's other videos on that if you need them. But what we're going to do is we're just going to jump straight over to apps and create an app. And then after that loads, we're going to say we want to do OneDrive for Business and a phone layout. We'll choose OneDrive for Business here. It's going to load up my Excel. And so there's my product workbook. And then here's the products table. So we'll say connect. All right, so the magic that is PowerApps, 15 seconds later, I have a working app. So we'll say skip. And so right now you can see I have a blank record in there. Who cares? And then some blue and some red. Let's update this real quick. So I'm going to click on the Browse Gallery. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, all right, for title, we want to do what? We'll do product name. For color, we'll do, or for subtitle, we'll do color. And then edited when will be the body. All right. So house, blue, boom, boom, boom. And so then if we hit play, we can then jump into one of these records. All right. So right now we're displaying all of the fields, right? They're not all populated, but we're all displaying them. And so if we say edit, by default, we're able to edit those fields. We want to do that, right? So let's fix this up. So in order to track our stuff, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my edit screen here, right? And click on my edit form. And we're going to click on the layout. And I'm going to get rid of edited by and edited when, right? I don't trust my users to update that for me. I'm also going to change it so product name's at the top because it just makes more sense. Okay. So then there's the form, right? That's the data we want the users to interact with and edit. Got it. Now, what about those two columns that we want to have take place? Well, what we're going to do with those is we're going to have to patch those manually. And so what we're going to do is right now, if you look at this check mark, it submits the form. And it's just going to update these two columns. But your form, if you click on Edit Form 1 over here, the form has something called OnSuccess. So right now on Success, it navigates back to whatever page it came from, which is weird, but whatever. We'll leave that alone. But we're going to add our own capabilities here. And so what we want to do is we want to do a patch, right? And there's a video on patch if you're unfamiliar with it, but patch is how we easy for me to say, patch is how we update an individual record. So we're going to say, all right, we want to patch. And what data source do we want to patch? Oh, let's get rid of all. We'll get rid of blank back for a second. So we want to patch products. Got it. What record? All right. So this is a little tricky, but if you do a form 1, or no, it's not form 1. It's named edit form, right? So whatever the form's name is down here. So edit form 1. Oh, so we'll say edit form 1. There it is. Right. Edit form is a function. Edit form 1 is the name of our form. Don't overthink it. So we'll say edit form 1. Then do a dot and then last submit. So that'll grab the last record that was written by the clicking the submit button. Cool. And so then we're going to say, all right, we want to update that. And so what we want to do, we want to update the edited by column, right? And we can go over here in Excel and check edited by, and the other one's edited when. So we're going to say, all right, we're going to update the edited by column in our Excel. And we're going to take advantage of the user function, right? So we're going to user and then parenthesis open and close dot full name to write the user's name in there. We'll do a comma and then we're going to say edited when. And then for that, we're going to take advantage of the function we haven't talked about a lot, but that's called now. And so now is right now, right? It's going to be the date and time of this very moment when all this happens. And so if we close, we need to close our curly braces first. Close a curly brace, close a parenthesis. So that's all we need, right? So what will happen is when they click the check mark, it's going to submit the form, which will take the updates that they put in these two locations. And then when the form is successfully saved, it's going to run this patch and it's going to update products. It's going to figure out which record it just wrote to, right? That's all saved easily for us, yay. And it's going to go to edited by, and it's going to change its value from blank, right? Because we didn't write anything the first time. So it's just blank to user colon full name, right? So it'll be my name. And then edited when will be set to now, which will be that moment in time. We'll throw our semicolon and then put the back that was on here before back in place. But that's not part of our actual solution. That's just putting the app back together the way it was. Okay, so let's try this out. So we'll go back up here to our browse screen one. We'll say play. Okay, so right now we have a blank record. Let's go fix the blank record. We got a house and a pencil. So we'll say view item details. There's no details. We'll say edit. Oh, we only get these two options. So product name is tank. And then our color will be green. Right, tanks are green in my head. We'll say submit item. We'll cross our fingers. Okay, and it brought us back to this screen. And so then if we say, let's go back to our list, refresh our data, and we can see, I didn't have to actually hit refresh, but we can see now tank is green, and there's our modified date. And so what we probably would do, right, if we're making the solution a little more correct, is I'd probably come in here and say, all right, let's just throw some text in here. We'll say, edited on ampersand, right, which means concatenate. So it puts that information in there. And then we'll do another concatenate, and we'll put space. We'll say by, like so. And then this item dot edited by, right? So this item just represents the current item in the gallery. And so this is just returning the edited when field. That's easy to say. And then this is also doing the edited by. So that all looks good to me. So then if we hit preview now, we'll see tank is green. It was edited on 5/3/2006 at 6:47 p.m. That's right, I'm doing this after dinner for you. And the reason for that is because web dev guy asked a question in the forums. And I think that's a great question. A lot of people have asked about it and me to make a video. So this video is dedicated to him because he asked it at the right moment when the kids were at soccer and I had a minute to make the video. So that's why I did it. All right, so that's edited when and then by me, good old Shane Young. Woohoo! If we add a new item, so we'll say add a new item, product name is another car, I don't know. Color for the car is black because that's the color of my car. We'll click the check mark again. We'll cross our fingers because I'm always nervous when this happens. And then boom, we're brought back here and we now have a record for another car, black, edited on a couple of minutes later by me again. So there you go. This is the entire principle, right? It's not any more complicated than that. You know, if you wanted to, if you're like, well, you know, it's kind of awkward that on this screen you're showing them that information. I don't want them to even know. Sure, no problem, right? Detail screen. We'll click on the detail form, do the layout. We'll just get rid of edited by and edited when. So now when you look at the product, and so then we could also then go remove it from the gallery. You know, it's just a field now in our Excel, right? If we refresh our Excel workbook over here, oh, let's not refresh it there because that might freak out. We will say back to documents and then back to our workbook. Boom, right? PowerApps added a column to our workbook. Hopefully you've seen that before. The key message with this is don't mess with it, right? Because PowerApps uses that to kind of keep track of everything. But there's the edited by and edited when that we added. It would make me much happier if I could make these columns work, but they're not resizing. You get the idea of what's going on. So, and I'm showing you this in the context of Excel, but I've done the same exact thing for one of my customers in SQL. With him, what he did was when he was displaying it, he would let the user see it. He would just kind of put it off to the side where they couldn't edit it, did it in a smaller font in the corner. But then that way, if they're ever like, hey, why does this person's record say X or Y? They always knew who the last person was that touched it. You could also make this more complicated if you wanted to have a created by and created date and then a modified by date, right? You'd use the same functions. You just have to kind of work through the logic a little different, but you're pretty smart. I'm sure you can figure it out. So hopefully this helps. These are the type of solutions that we do for customers all the time at PowerApps 911. So if I never help you, let me know. Feel free to reach out to me via the website. Hit me up on Twitter at Shane's Cows. Leave a comment below. I always respond to my YouTube comments or the PowerApps forums or carrier pigeons. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. So thanks and have a great day. Hey, it's me again. If you got a second, click the subscribe button. That always keeps me making more videos. Or if you want to work together, need some help getting your Power Apps going, hit me up at PowerApps 911. Always happy to work together. Or finally, if you're really just looking for more videos, that's probably what it is. Check out the Power Apps playlist over here and enjoy that. All right, thanks and have a great day.